Hello and welcome to Victoriana. It's been a fair few weeks since we've done a clip. We've been ever so busy, and naughty us, we've had a holiday as well. But we're here at last again. We're just into the beginning of September, and we're a few weeks off now our chilli festival. I'm obviously in the chilli tunnel where we've got 140 varieties of chilli growing, and with a little bit of luck we'll be there on colour and more importantly on heat on all of these. So we'd love to see as many of you as we can for the 3rd and 4th of October for our festival. There's lots and lots of details on our chilli festival page. We'll obviously have our tasting of the chilies, and there'll be stalls selling all sorts of chili sauces and things like that, and we've also got cooking demonstrations. We're having a hog roast, seafood, all sorts of things will be going on, so that's a really good weekend. And like I say, hopefully we'll be there in time with the colour and the heat. But meantime, I'll give you a quick run around the nursery of everything else that's going on. So, despite August not being that cheerful this year, and even the beginning of September has been pretty cold and dreary as well, the flower area is actually not looking too bad. And even with all the grotty wet weather we've had, and certainly the cold nights, the chrysanthemums are doing well, coming up to flower, and we're already cutting now, and they're going to be a real show. So yeah, looking very nice down here. Out here on the beds, we're doing our autumn tidy up, and autumn certainly has come early this year. Things like the grapes are already showing an awful lot of autumn colour, and obviously it's been very cold at night, but no, we're looking nice and tidy. Beds are all cleaned up, basically ready for the winter, and all in all looking pretty smart. Here in the bubble it's a house of two halves really. This year, because it's been so chilly at night, things like our primulas and our autumn and some of our spring perennials that we've started in the last month or so, we've actually pricked out into here, because as I say, it has been quite chilly, and we've even called for heat once, which is quite a surprise for end of August, beginning of September. But as soon as these get away a little bit more, we'll move them under cold glass, and then obviously some of this will actually be out for the winter as well. But no, so we're quite full up on this side with young stuff, and then over on the other side all the fuchsias have all been pruned through and trimmed up ready for the winter. Hopefully we'll get some autumn cuttings off them all. We've left all the flower on as much as we can, and they're looking pretty good over there as well. So as usual, we're pretty chocker. So out here in the frame area, again autumn is sort of creeping in on us quicker than usual. All the perennials are starting to take on some colour, and obviously some of the herbaceous bits are actually going backwards already. We'll go through this lot again once more, and some of these, or quite a lot of this, will actually move in under cold glass for the winter. Not so much for the frost protection, but really to keep the worst of the wet off, because in the small modules they just won't keep. But we'll run the greenhouse with the vents full open, so they're getting the worst of the cold, etc., but they're not getting the worst of the wet, which can cause so many problems with the smaller plants. But no, not looking too bad out here at the moment. Veg cage is obviously looking quite empty. All our young veg transplants are nearly there for the autumn, and they'll be coming out here probably next week. But yeah, all in all, we're still pretty full up. So up in the top house, we're pretty full as well. These are some young brassicas that will be going outside for a week or so to harden off, if that's the right thing to use at this time of the year. But as we have, or some parts of the country have had a frost already, obviously they need to be outside for a good couple of weeks before we start dispatching them out. And similarly, we've got lots and lots of other perennials and bits coming along for next spring now. So that's this side of the house, and then the other side is all chilies as well. This seems to have turned from a hobby for me into a little bit of an obsession, and I think we're probably getting to the point where I can say we're maybe going a little bit over the top on them. So not only do we have a polytunnel full of them, but we also now have half a greenhouse as well. So we'll have plenty of fruit available for sale at our Chili Fest, and there's quite a few of our restaurant friends and sauce making friends who'll also be buying our fruits, or hopefully will. But yes, we're pretty chocker with chilies at the moment. So here in the herb garden, it's autumn tidy up time as well. The annual herb bed way over there has been cleaned right out. Horseradish hasn't done so well this year, that's right over in the far corner, but we did hit it very hard last year. And we've got some plans to move that anyway. We've got quite a lot to do now that we've actually moved our fences. So yeah, in here it's a bit of a tidy up and plans for what we're going to do with the new larger space that we've got to the rear of the beds. So out here on the veg garden we've got lots going on obviously. The outdoor tomatoes have done spectacularly and no blight whatsoever. They're the new blight resistant varieties that we're selling as seed and plants, and that's the third year now that we've done well with these outside with no problems. Rest of the garden wise, the peas have finished in the cage. We've now replanted that with saffron because of the dreaded pheasants that come and eat it all. Corn didn't do as well for us this year because we were just so late to actually get them in, but saying that, the cobs have done well. We just haven't had great pollination, so we've been having to chop the end off each one, and sort of 2 cobs each serves one person, but no, not too bad really at all. And yeah, going round to the fruit cage, we're just getting the new supports up in there. We're actually running some water at the moment because it is so dry, and thankfully we've had a nice dry week this week. Over there the young asparagus bed is started to take off, so that'll be something for us in a couple of years time or so. And then obviously finishing off down here, this is the Jersey night bed that's been here for a few years, and again that's done well for us this year, and the fern's standing up but just starting to tinge into colour, so it won't be long before that disappears for the winter. So up here in the top field, I think I can actually now call this bit the vineyard. It's been one of those things that we've wanted to do for quite a few years. We managed to get the vines in at the beginning of this year, in I think it was March time. Then Rob followed through and got the posts and the wires up, and now Steve has been through and started the pruning. So we're pruned down to the first wire, and hopefully next year we can start doing some proper training. But no, it's exciting for us. This is, as I say, something we've wanted to do. It's always been put off, but we're finally underway on our little vineyard. And then over on the other side, obviously, this will be the next task. All our fruit that needs to be lifted from the open ground, and we'll probably start lifting this, I guess, the end of October, something like that. Might actually be a little bit earlier this year because of the way the weather's been. But yeah, as soon as we can start lifting this, the better, and then obviously we can start our bare root dispatches. So I'll finish off up here in the orchard, which from my memory I think this is its third year, and doesn't look too bad. We've had a fair amount of fruit off the trees this year. Apples have done particularly well, pears are starting to produce, and unfortunately again the birds got to the cherries before we did, but it's starting to establish quite nicely. But yeah, so I'll finish off here in the orchard, which in a few weeks time will of course be full of all our stalls for our chili fest. So I really do hope we see lots and lots of you there, and hopefully the weather's going to be as nice and gorgeous as it is today. We've certainly got plenty of chilies. I'll just go once more back to them. As I say, it's a bit of an obsession for me. So there's another pick of all the lovely chilies that are coming up to colour, and all of those will be on taste this year. So yeah, that's it really for the beginning of September. We're trying to do some videoing over Chili Fest weekend, which is, as I say, the 3rd and 4th of October, and be lovely to see us, lots and lots of you there.